Okay, I think we're ready, Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good morning and welcome to Western Reserve Public Media. We're in our studio right now. Nice, comfortable environment for us to start working on becoming connected educators. I am Barb Moore, and I am a 21st century professional learning consultant here at Western Reserve. I think I'm entering my 4th year with the group, and the time has gone extremely fast. Probably the best pace I've ever worked, because I get to take technology and I get to work with teachers and I put them together, and it's really a really cool thing to be able to do. And we are very, very happy that you are here with us today. We think that you will probably enjoy, hopefully enjoy, becoming connected educators. I'm quite excited about the whole thing. It is something that changes frequently, and it's kind of hard to keep up, but it's also a lot of fun to keep up. So we are going to embark on our journey this morning and continue that journey through November. And we are going to make it so darn interesting that you'll be knocking down the doors to get back in November. So I'd like to introduce Jeff Good. He's our Director of Educational Services here at Western Reserve Public Media, and he's going to do the welcome.
I'll start with Go Cavs. Hey, by the way, here's your lobby.
What was the score last night?
It was that we won.
I know they won.
I think we won by 6 this time.
All right, that's a good thing. All right.
Hey, appreciate all you being here. I've been here now. I'm going on wrapping up my 9th year here. So I moved back to the area. Unfortunately, as Barb said, I was very fortunate, much like what she's saying, to be able to work here and work for Western Reserve Public Media. For you folks that don't know, do a quick overview of what Western Reserve Public Media is. Basically, it's a little bit different than when I was in Michigan and some other areas as far as public television station. Western Reserve Public Media is one of 8 educational technology agencies spread across the state of Ohio. So there's 8 of us out there. And of those 8, 4 of those folks are connected to television stations. So there are some independent ed tech agencies that are out there right now that aren't connected with PBS station. I've always said I enjoy being connected to the PBS station because it opens the door for me. But really our role as an ed tech agency is to work with teachers and administrators integrating technology in the classroom. Barb's done a wonderful job. This is what did we call it yesterday? 2.0, the Connected Educator 2.0. Barb had the opportunity to work with folks last year, so I call that the 1.0. So we're really happy that you're here. I'm trying to think what else to tell you. As your airline flight attendant, if you're not familiar with where the restrooms are this way. If in the event of a water landing, there'll be lights that come on up here. But the water fountain, I made some sugar-free drink here, but if there's anything else you need, the break room for us is right around the corner past the bathrooms, and you'll find a vending machine in there. I'm trying to think what else. The bottom line is just enjoy. And this is very, I use the term a lot with this program, organic. We're very fortunate that Martha Holden Jennings funded this project, and they continue to fund this project. But it's a very organic project. And what I say is, Barb and I met yesterday and we started talking about it, and she started looking at what exactly we wrote in the grant and realized that, you know, it just kind of morphs as it, and it's all based on how involved you all are. You know, Barb and I spent some time yesterday really talking about what tools you can look at now that you can apply as you're having fun over the summer. And then how can you take those tools and become a connected educator, you know, and take those, we always used to call them killer apps in the many jobs that I worked. So how can I take that killer app that I played with socially while I was on vacation, and how can I apply it in the classroom? So the hope is, you know, especially in these early months, that a lot of the stuff that occurs, you begin to look at just over the summer. Don't worry about your classroom. Worry about how it might apply to you if you're going on vacation. How do I do some stuff on Instagram? How do I do some tweeting on my vacation? And then when you're done, and we get you get back into school and back into the routine, the hope is that you're going to look at all of those tools and say, I could see doing this with my students, or I could see us doing this together. So keep that in mind. It's going to be a very organic program, and I look forward to you being here. Lunch is at noon, and what else do we need? Okay, you guys have the password. Anybody have any trouble getting connected? We're also, right now, we're streaming these sessions, but they'll also be available to you afterwards if you want to walk through on our Western Reserve WR Ed Services YouTube channel. So it's just yet another way. I'll demonstrate Google Hangout later, but that's just another way that we're keeping you connected and giving you access to a lot of materials. Do you have any questions for me? I gave you some information. There's our old newsletter. I just gave that to you. And then one of our new brochures, if you're not familiar with the offerings that we have a lot of face-to-face offerings, and we're also migrating. We've got quite a few online offerings as far as professional development. And as the folks that are getting Kent State credit know, we can make that connection. So if you're looking for grad credit from Kent State, we can set that up for you too. So keep that in mind. We can be here. We can be at a location, we can be remote, we've done them all. So if you're looking for professional development after the fact and after this is all over, I hope that you can be an ambassador for the offerings that we do here, as well as if you're not from this service area and you're working with another ed tech agency, certainly they're doing exactly a lot of the similar things that we're doing right here. Sound good? All right, I'll let Barb go.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. And as Jeff said, we are streaming, and these will be available to you. And what we did was we put them together in chunks, so that we had a 6-hour meeting here a couple of months ago, and we Google Hangout did the whole thing, and we had people who were attending from Indiana and various places, and one of the folks who was attending remotely said, yeah, and I just got finished watching the 6-hour video. So we decided that we would chunk them down and start with an introduction and then do some about some of the apps we're going to show you and break it down so that if for some reason, and I know that there were folks who were sliding in and out and all that stuff, if for some reason you missed something, you'll be able to pick that up. Now, Jeff also mentioned that we have our own YouTube channel. You really don't have to write down much of anything today, because at the end of the day, after our session is over, I'm going to then put together a resource sheet that will tell you all about all of the places that you can find the videos that we'll be observing, and places where you can get tip sheets and those kinds of things. So as Jeff said, we just want you to enjoy yourself today, and we did pick out apps that you're going to be able to use over the summer and get familiar with, and you'll probably get real sick of seeing Barb at WRPM sending you emails, because I plan on sending you stuff a couple of times a week, just tweeting in with you or saying, hey, how about taking an Instagram shot and sending it in, and just trying to keep together with you. And we're going to have a blog site and a community and all of that stuff, which is basically what today is about. Getting all of that stuff set up, getting you familiar with it, and then helping you find other places that you can carry that knowledge over to, so that you can become more and more connected as time goes on. That's the big word right now, being a connected educator. And being connected, not only yourself, but also figuring out ways to bring that into your classroom and to connect your kids. So let's go. Again, I'm Barb Moore, and there's my information. Right now, you're hearing from me from BJ Moore 73. I think for the project, we're going to use my work email number. And let me give you that right now. It's Barb, B-A-R-B-A-T, WRPM, and then the @ gmail.com. So it's BARBATWRPM gmail.com. And I'll have that for you later on too. Okay? Okay, so here we go. When you got the flyer, you were told that the goals of the project, and we did this through Martha Holden Jennings last year as well. And they were very generous in giving us some money to be able to develop the course. We did develop some offshoot courses from it. And as Jeff said, last year we realized that we did 1.0, and this year we're kicking it up to 2.0. And when I went back and looked at the materials from what we did in 1.0, it really was 1.0. And things have evolved so much since then, and things have become so different in just a year and a few months' time that it is easy to kick it up a notch because everything else is kicked up a notch too. So our 3 goals for the project are, first of all, that we want to combine the use of PLCs, which are professional learning communities, and we have our own set up on EdWeb, online communities of practice, and then personal learning networks so that we can better approach educator professional development. And let me ask you right now, do any of you have a personal or professional learning network that you have started for yourself? Wonderful. That's one of the things that we're going to focus on for organizing all of the things that we're going to be learning about, all the ways that we get connected. What's your name?
Joe.
Joe, how are you using your personal learning network?
Best practices,
Okay.
Just communicating with different teachers across the country and
Wonderful.
stealing ideas from them.
Great, that's good. Stealing, yep, I'm a scrapbooker, I'm a stealer too, so same thing. And your name is?
Glenn Huffman.
Glenn?
I
Okay,
use Twitter to connect with educators across,
okay,
all across the world. I have educators and I borrow their ideas.
yeah,
They
there
can
you
have them
go.
back when I'm done.
Yeah, there you go, and they're always so willing to let you borrow them, aren't they, for the most part, yeah. You know, I forgot to do one thing that was gonna be so cool, and I'm gonna do it right now. I'm going to call the roll, okay, just to see who's here and who's not. And I'm also going to send around a piece of paper here. So when I call your name, don't say here. I don't want to know that you're here. Take just a moment and think about what is the very favorite app that you use. What app do you use that you just absolutely love? And then just holler it out. You don't have to tell us what it does, where it is, or anything. But when I call your name, holler out an app, okay?
For school?
Got it? What?
For school or for personal?
Anything. It doesn't matter because we're going to be personal this summer. Now we're transitioning that over to school, probably beginning in August. So let's start with Tricia Durker.
Erasma.
Erasma. Okay, good. How about Amy Doty? And if I say your name wrong, tell me. Amy, are you here?
She's not.
She's not here. Okay. How about Joey Fabian?
That's me.
Okay.
Screencast-O-Matic.
Screencast-O-Matic, cool. Okay. And Danielle Files?
I'm gonna cheat. Google Apps for Education.
Google Apps for Ed. Okay, wonderful. You're into the big stuff. Okay. Lance Green?
She stole mine, actually. But
Okay.
I would have to say maybe Twitter.
Twitter? Okay.
I'm gonna
All right.
borrow that from you.
That's all right. Great. Okay. How about Lori Green?
She'll be here in a couple seconds.
She'll be here. Are you the gatekeeper?
I guess so.
Okay. James Gretz? Not here? Okay. How about Lori Householder? Did you get here for a little bit? She was one of the people that I heard from. How about Glenn Huffman?
Right here.
Glenn, yeah.
Classrooms, Google Classrooms.
What is it?
Google Classrooms.
Google Classrooms, absolutely. Have you been using that a lot?
Yes, ma'am.
We can't get a way to get it here. We have to be a school or a classroom. And we are working real hard to try to so that we can teach it, you know. But we'll be very interested in hearing from you about Google Classrooms. Okay, Glenn, thank you. Renee Carr. Renee, you're the one that I got so mixed up with. Yeah, what's yours?
I don't know, probably Google for educators.
Okay,
I like Facebook too, so that.
Okay,
I get that
good.
Quite a bit too.
good.
Especially in the summer.
Okay, all right. How about Anne Marie Coach? Coach, okay.
I used Pear Deck a lot this year.
What do you use?
Pear Deck?
Okay, all right, good. In the classroom?
Yeah.
Okay. Lori Lee? No? Do you know where she is? Okay. He knew where everybody else was.
He does, but he can't talk about it.
Nicole Meyer.
My recent favorite is Clifford.
Is it? Mine too. I love it. Did you know there's one for educators?
That might be what we're using, I'm not sure.
What's that?
That might be what we are using.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay. All right, Nicole. Good. Amy Morgan.
Well, personally, I really like this new one that I found for finding recipes. It's called Yumly.
Yes.
It's like Pinterest, but it's all recipes.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a
Cool.
big fan.
Yep. Jeff's a chef,
But I
so
love Google Classroom also.
okay, good. We've got a lot of support for that. Hi, ladies.
Got lost.
Okay, that's all right.
Well, especially coming from that direction.
What direction
You
did
just turn the correct direction on
On-
Campus Center Drive. You
But I-
don't get lost and have to ask 12 different people who send you 12 different places.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm gonna have to put directions in the notes from now on. I think that's a great idea.
Well, if we just go to your website and read the ones there, you get right here.
Yes, okay, all right.
As opposed to using Google Maps or any people you
No,
find.
yes, don't use people in Kent, they don't know where they are. Okay, Stephanie Palumbo. Okay, Diane Richardson? Diane,
I guess Evernote.
what is it?
Evernote.
Evernote, okay, good. You're a serious one. Okay, Susan Ridgway.
Right here.
Yes.
And I'll actually be teaching a class to my staff on Powtoons.
Powtoons, okay, all right.
My favorite though at home is Who's.
Is what?
Houzz.
Oh, yes, okay, mine too, I like that. I have a bunch of notebooks of stuff, yeah, yeah. Okay, Sarah Rivera. Okay. How about Holly Roberts? Did you make it? No, not right now, okay. Nikki Sattler? Okay, who are the rest of you people? No. Joe Slivka.
I use
Joe.
Google Classroom.
Google,
lot.
okay, okay. And Stephanie Toporser, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Snagit.
oh, I love Snagit too. Yeah, 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 and yeah.
See everybody who sit next to me.
Yes, yes. Okay, ladies, who are you?
I'm Amy Doty.
You're Amy
D-O-T-Y.
Doty. Okay, and what is your favorite app right now? Personal or professional, it doesn't matter.
Professional Moodle.
Okay, okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're
Lori Green.
Lori? Okay,
Gosh, there's so many. I'm sitting here looking at all the hundreds that I have.
okay.
I'm trying to think what we use with the kids right now quite a bit. Oh, we've been using a Lego Movie Maker quite a bit.
Oh, what grade do you teach?
I am K through 12 tech coordinator.
Oh, okay, all right, great, okay. Did I miss anybody? You are?
Christy Bates.
Oh, Christy, I don't know why you didn't print out. And Christy, what is your favorite?
I really like Google Classroom, but I'm looking forward to learning how to organize it better.
Oh, okay,
And WordBrain personally.
okay, all right, that's cool, great, okay. Anybody else I missed? Okay, we're all here then, and we're all accounted for, and we know everything that you really like. We are not going to go in depth with any introductions today. You heard about me, you heard about Jeff. The rest we're going to do electronically. I mean, we are connecting as educators as though we don't know each other and we're not sitting beside each other and those things. Later on today, I'll ask you to either take a selfie or a picture of your neighbor, and we'll get those up there so everybody has an idea about who looks like what and what their names are. And so we're just going to kind of approach it in that direction instead of taking a lot of time to chat about who we are now. I do need one piece of information for you though. I need, and Krista, you're gonna have to write yours on here.
Okay.
I need your email address that is the easiest to reach you at during the summer, okay? And I have a sheet here that's got your name and your school and your position, and then at the very end, your email address. So if you could just go through and check it. If it's okay, just write okay beside it. And but if you want to change it, go ahead and write it in. So I'll get that started around, and that way we'll be able to communicate with each other in some different ways. Okay, let's go back to our goals. So we want to get involved with creating personal learning networks for ourselves, and we're going to create an artifact that reflects what our personal learning network looks like at the end of the sessions, and talk about them a little bit in November. We're also going to develop a Web 2.0 toolkit, and there are 3.0s out there as well, so we may include some of those in there. We want to include in that your own digital content, the things that you have discovered and have shared with us in terms of connecting, curating, communicating, collaborating, all those 21st century skills. And then finally, our third goal is to use our own collective intelligence and our teacherpreneurship. We're all about, what's the name of that website? I love it. I use it. I can't remember it. The one where you pay teachers pay teachers. That's it. Okay. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to retire in a year, and I'm going to get started on trying to do some things for that. So we'll talk about that a little bit, and then how we're going to effectively infuse our technology into our professional development and craft our own professional development as suggested in the standards for Ohio teachers. And so we're going to link back into a lot of that stuff too. Our project vision, and Jeff's going to jump in here somewhere or anywhere, or he may just want to talk about it. But our project vision is we've got this wonderful group of people sitting in this classroom, and I have heard back from you through your emails that you are very excited about what we're going to be doing and excited about being here and taking away information that you'll be able to use. So here we are today, and you can see there that you've got a pretty detailed agenda about the kinds of things that we're going to be talking about. We want to look at blogging, and we're actually not going to start our own blog, but we're going to use EdWeb, which is a blog, a blogging blog, and it's got a whole bunch of other things on it, and we're going to be using that kind of as a repository for what we're thinking, what we're reflecting on, what we've discovered, and those kinds of things. We're also going to be taking a look at Twitter and Instagram. And in a minute, I'll tell you why we've chosen those three things to focus on today. And we're going to be setting up accounts for that. Then, throughout the summer, and I know summer is your hopefully a little bit of downtime, though you've got so many other things that you're trying to accomplish and things. I mentioned earlier that a couple of times a week, either I or maybe Jeff is going to tweet out to you or even send you an email, that old antiquated way of doing things, or even a text message if we get that far along, and say, hey, what are you doing? Where are you on vacation? If you're going on vacation this year, how about, and we'll let that go, and then we'll have some contests as well. And whoever comes up with the three things that we're asking for, or the best of that we're asking for, will win a prize that's got to do with being a connected educator. The only thing is that you then, if you've won a prize, and hopefully everybody will have an opportunity to do that, if you've won a prize, you need to come back in August to claim your prize, and they'll be worthwhile. In fact, we have some books called The Connected Educator that were written by Powerful Learning Practices that are extremely good. And if we can convince you to come back in August, you will get a copy of that book as well. So we've targeted August 10th as the date for having you come back. And I see some, ouch, that's not going to be a good day. And it's hard to figure out when to do that because school's starting and school's not starting and people are getting in on that last vacation and all of those kinds of things. So I'm going to ask you this reluctantly. How does August 10th work for the majority of you? Could you raise your hands if it's possible that you could be here on August 10th? That's a Monday, and it's a few weeks or at least a week before most schools start. Okay. Okay, if you can make the arrangement to do something about that date, that would be great. If you can't, see me and we'll figure it out, okay? I always have a way to figure it out. Jeff, do you have a thought about that?
As far as the August meeting,
Yeah.
there's always possibilities.
Yes, okay, okay. So we would regroup and extend our learning then at the August date. And that would include some information about Google. We'll be looking at Google. I'm going to give you a survey later on that asks you, okay, so this is what we learned today, and this is kind of where we're going with this. Now, but can you tell us some things you'd like to know about? And give you an opportunity to express a need that maybe a lot of other people have but don't know it, about some things that you'd like to have included. So that's August. And that's really ramping it up. We're going to really ramp it up in August. During the summer, it's going to be fun. Then we're going to start looking at, okay, now how do all these things that I've been learning about, and you will have new learning over the summer, relate back to my classroom? So then throughout August and September, we'll continue with the tweets and the blogs and the Instagrams and the stuff that you're learning about in August. In October, this is a big month. October is Connected Educator Month across the nation. How many of you have ever heard of Professional Educator or Connected Educators Month? Any of you? So, good. Okay. So you may have participated. Have you participated? No. Well, we're going to participate in October in Connected Educators Month. It is so exciting. There's this group called Powerful Learning Practice, and the head of that group, the owner, I should say, is Sherry Nussbaum Beach. Very dynamic, gorgeous red hair. And you'll be seeing her, I think, in August. That's another reason to come back. And Sherry has put together, she's all about connectedness, and she has put together, along with the Ohio Department of Education and a bazillion people who volunteer, dynamic and robust learning for us on a day-by-day basis all through the month of October. And last year, I think we even had a Halloween party at the end because it was the last day. I couldn't go, it was my niece's birthday. Her name's Jacqueline. She's born on Halloween. Guess what her nickname will be when she's out of school? Jack-o'-lantern. So, all through October, that'll be a daily tweet or a daily email or a daily something from me saying, hey, these are the things that I think would most interest you because of the direction that we're going. However, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. And I see myself as the person who puts it together for you. I know teachers, I was a teacher for 21 years, and I'm still a teacher. And I know that the hard part is finding time to learn and to find out about things that are going to be effective. So that's my role. I'm going to help you call out the stuff you don't need and focus on the stuff you do. Then in November, we hope that you will join us for an EdCamp/Unconference. We had one of these at the end of our Connected Educator class. And it was a lot of fun. And just briefly, I'll tell you what an EdCamp / unconference is. Technically, people just sign up knowing that we're going to do Connected Educators, basically, for us. And when you get here, we have a big chart on the wall. And on the chart are time slots. And everybody signs up for a time slot to teach a little, maybe 20-minute vignette about their favorite app or what they've learned in the classroom as a connected educator. So that will be our culminating event. And your artifact for that event will be some kind of a visual presentation that's been recorded in some way, and you'll see some ways today, whether it's a video that you do of yourself or a video that someone does of you, or an Animoto that you put together. Anybody use Animoto? Yeah, an Animoto that you put together, or one of the many, many, many things that you're going to be learning about between now and then. Short, sweet, but what did you learn? And how has it affected what you're doing in the classroom? So those are kind of the requirements of the class. We'll try to make them as, I don't want to say easy, because none of this is easy. Learning is not easy. But as easy as we possibly can, okay? And we'll guide you through the process because we think it's really important that you completely understand why you're doing what you're doing. And we want to see you be successful. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, Jeff knows all about technology. He is the technology guru. And he's even got this little thing called a swivel that follows you around the room, and it records everything that you say and do. And then you can send it home with your kids. And you can blend your classroom that way, or flip your classroom, I should say, and show them slides and all that stuff. He's a master of that. And maybe somewhere along the line, maybe in August, we'll be able to use that instead of Google Hangouts. I, on the other hand, am a technology wannabe. And I work real hard to be that technology wannabe. And I think I do okay with it. I think I do pretty good with it, actually. Jeff, how do I do with it?
You do great.
I know, okay, there. But I'll be learning a lot of stuff right along with you. If I find something new, or my niece who's 33, or my nephew who's 32 says, hey, Aunt Bobby, did you see this? Or my great niece who's 3, who is technologically very savvy, comes along and has some stuff for lower grades. Hey, I'm going to share it. I'm going to learn about it. I'm going to let you know about it. I'm also an ImpOhio coach. And ImpOhio has a vast amount of stuff that deals with being a connected educator. So I'll be sharing things about that too. I won't overwhelm you. If all of a sudden you're getting stuff from me and you're saying, what's wrong with her? I got other things to do. Just say, hey, Barb, I'm reading them. I'm not doing them. Or Barb, I'm not reading them. So tell me if it gets too overwhelming for you, and we'll back it off a little bit. But tell me if you're enjoying it too. I always like to hear that kind of stuff. Okay? So that's our project vision. Jeff, anything to add to that?
I think the biggest thing, and Barb and I talked about it yesterday, is it was a great exercise to have all of you talk about your favorite app. But I think what we want to have happen when you were done is begin to look at those 21st century skills and think about how you might address those skills with an application, with whatever you're comfortable with. So for instance, you know, begin to look at one of the 21st century skills of communication and be able to say, what's another way I can communicate with my students? You know, so as you look at an app, say, could I do it with Twitter? Yeah, probably. Could I do it with Instagram? Yeah, sure could. You know, but those are just what we're trying to do is give you a starting point, but you may find some other things along the way. Think about critical thinking skills. You know, what are some ways that you're developing your critical thinking skills, but also in a way that you can begin to convey that to your students. You know, Barb and I talked about this yesterday also, is that whatever happens with online assessments, there's going to be online assessments. It may not be PARCC, but it's going to be that. So what can you do as a teacher to begin to develop those skills in your students to take those tests? Because a lot of them are like this, right? A lot of those 21st century skills apply to that. So students need to go out and do some research and be able to work online and figure out, simple things like copy, paste in order to do that assessment. If PARCC isn't going to be it, which who knows what tomorrow will bring, whatever the next, that's the alphabet soup will be, it's going to be out there. So begin to think of those things, think of those skills, and then when you look at, we did a Camp Google probably about, I want to say 5-6 summers ago, and part of what we did was we sat down with the 4 C's and said, here's communication, here's collaboration, here's creativity, here's critical thinking. And as you begin to look at that, we looked at all different types of apps, and we do that with our iPads and our Android devices too. Where does it fit in? And it was amazing what people begin to say when they're done. Instead of thinking specific about an app, instead saying, what can I do to develop my communication skills, my creativity, my critical thinking, my collaborative skills? So think about that as you're looking at an app and you're thinking about your favorites, or you're working in an environment. Could an Instagram account be work towards your creativity? Absolutely. Barb's going to show a great video of a teacher that's over towards Toledo that's doing wonderful things with Instagram, and he's taking some great pictures with his cell phone, and he's integrating those with his students. He's actually good enough that somewhere in the mix, and I don't have all the details. He won a Fiat car out of the deal, and I don't know what exactly he did, but that's a great example of, okay, I can use Instagram for communication, but you know what, I can use it for creativity too. And while we're at it, I might be able to add critical thinking in there. So think about that. So basically, one of the project goals, I hope, is that you begin to not be app specific and more skill specific. So how can this apply? What can we do? What do we work in an environment to improve those skills?
Thanks, Jeff.
Yes. Is there on that note, is there a hashtag you guys are using for this?
We're going to go through that today. That's one of the things we're going to get into. What's that?
I can't know it now.
Well, no, what Barb's going to do is set up the hashtag
yeah.
to show everyone how you set up a hashtag.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So when we're done, you'll have a hashtag.
You'll have a hashtag. We'll have a hashtag, and you'll each have a hashtag. So we'll be doing that in just a little while. Sorry. Okay. I want to show you what does a day in the life of a connected educator look like? Let's see. Takes me a time to, here we go. Okay. I want you to take a look at this infographic. This is a story about Susan, and she's an American elementary school teacher, and I have a copy of it here that I will pass around that I was going to put together, but this looks better. It fits more into what we have. And she checks the very first thing in the morning, Twitter, to connect with Robert, who's a 4th grade teacher over in Australia. And it's amazing how many Australians you run into everywhere on the internet. What did you say?
I said especially on the basketball court.
Yeah, this is true.
Yes,
yes. So anyhow, she and Robert have never met, but their classrooms are collaborating on an environmental project. They compare notes and decide the project is ready for phase 2, and that's as soon as she got up in the morning, okay? The next piece is that Susan sees a link from someone in her personal learning network on Twitter about a current educational policy debate. She reads the article and retweets the link to her Twitter followers. Then bookmarks it on Diigo, a social bookmarking tool. She notes the comments of others who have read the link before her and adds some tags to help others find this interesting article. So she is a connected educator, has lots of folks she connects with, and she shares what she learns as she learns it. Next, Susan turns to her RSS reader, which manages all her RSS feeds for quick reviewing, scans her new material and posted to their blogs, changes they've made to the class wiki, and comments and revisions on the unit she is co-designing with her colleagues. Okay, then school starting. She did all that before school started, okay? Susan's 5th grade class is studying Iceland's geology. A member of Susan's personal learning network lives in Iceland and has arranged a live video chat with the class using Skype. During the video session, the teachers and students in both classrooms document the event by snapping photos with their smartphones and making short video reflections to use later on their blogs. Okay? Then, just before lunch, Susan's students upload some images from the video chat to the school's Flickr photo sharing account. While the kids eat lunch, Susan spies a moment of real engagement. She adds a relevant quote as she uploads the picture to Flickr and uses tags to add it to a growing pool of images on education and change. Later in the day, Susan introduces a learning strategy she discovered in one of her global communities of practice, which you're going to get familiar with, online. She plays out exactly as she hoped, pulling in contributions from a hard-to-engage student. Susan makes a mental note to send a thank you e-card to the educator in Norway who suggested the idea. She sends a quick direct message via Twitter to her principal, letting her know how successful the event was and inviting her to stop by for a classroom visit. Okay, so now after school, Susan revisits the online community and posts a reflection about using the new strategy, asking for feedback on the remix she made to increase its effectiveness with her class. She probably blogged about that and asks people to blog back for her. She cross-posts a reflection on another pedagogy-focused social networking site so others can share in the success, and within minutes, educators from around the world have posted replies and questions. Then, before turning in for the night, Susan, now they say you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't use your computer in bed, okay? But Susan does. Susan checks her education policy Facebook group. It's not where I'd be going. A quick scan compels her to add her own thoughts to a discussion about how to move forward. Next, she links her post about the learning strategy on her own wall and shares a few of the Iceland video chat photos with her Facebook friends. And then finally, Susan writes a short reflection on her personal blog about the Skype conference while her favorite TV show starts in the background, or the Cavs and the Warriors. So, this is what a Connected Learners Day might look like. She's been coaching, she's been sharing, connecting, collaborating, leveraging the 4 C's, all of the 21st century skills. Her web of networks to improve personal practice and make schools more effective in citing places. Would you like to be in her class?
Well, we've decided that she's got to be a multimillionaire with a maid, a nanny, because
there's nothing in there about doing the dishes, is there? Exactly, and I'll agree with you
to
on
get
that.
all of that connection.
Absolutely, yeah. Any reaction to what a connected educator could be? Do any of you feel you're at that level? Do you really? Oh, OCD too? A little bit.
Only when I'm
No.
not ADHD.
Do you? So, what does your day look like?
Well, I drank the Kool-Aid. So, I mean, I've got a blog and I'm like, here, example. I just tweeted out everything you guys talked about.
Okay.
The swivel, all the apps that I didn't know.
Okay.
That infographic.
Okay.
And after this, I'm driving to Chicago to present at the Google conference.
Are you?
So I'm highly, deeply nerdy.
Yes, you are. And that's a good thing. We like nerdy. We do. Yeah, we're working toward it. Jeff does, I'm working. Yeah. So, well, good. That's great.
Oh, good. I'm glad you think so. My husband thinks I had a deep.
And what about you? What's your?
I'm just at a school where I have never seen a staff reject any kind of
technology that is
Oh.
new.
Really?
It's amazing.
And what school are you at?
Millerstown School for the Visual Performing Arts.
Mm-hmm.
I actually asked everybody the other day, I said, could you please create a Twitter handle?
Mm-hmm.
And we can start tweeting to each other, because this is information that the community will see.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to keep people interested in our school, because there's a new performing arts school going in down the street.
That's right.
And, nobody has to go to our school.
Mhm.
So we need to develop social media as a means to recruit kids.
Absolutely.
My staff just doesn't get it. They rolled their eyes at me. My vice principal went, I mean, it was amazing.
Okay.
So
That's too bad.
if I can just get something together to show
Yes,
them that
yes.
this is
All those
doable, and they need to
avenues.
get on board.
Okay, all right, good. That's good to know. Okay, great. Okay, so that's what theoretically the day in the life of a connected educator looks like. So let's see here, what does a connected educator look like in comparison to what they used to? Okay. Typical teacher network, as few as 5 years ago, were that they communicated with colleagues back and forth, and they communicated with family and local community back and forth. That was it. The only things that they had for resources were anything that they could pick up on the internet or from another teacher at a meeting, and curriculum documents. And popular media also impacted them, but definitely not in the way that it currently is. If we take which is good or bad, I'm not sure. But if we take a look now at what a connected educator looks like, there are lots more of the lines that go both ways and are open. And they all include print and digital resources. They still include the family and local community, which is where we really can use some of the tools that we'll be talking about today. Blogs, wikis, video conferences, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there is where we are now, and we may even be beyond that just a little bit. Okay, so how did I come up with the tools that we're currently going to be looking at? Well, Jane Hart, who lives in England, does a yearly survey about the 100 digital tools for learning. And the people who respond to her survey are pretty auspicious in some ways, and in other ways, pretty average. And they're from all countries all over the world. And they actually rate the tools that they use from 1 to 100. And then Jane goes in, and I've got the statistics that I'll send you about that. Jane goes in and says, oh, this one dropped this many points, and this one really moved up the charts. And right here, I think I have the top 15, 16, something like that. Twitter is #1 as far as tools that people use. And I keep reading that Twitter is the best way to access professional development that there is. And then we've got Google Docs, many of the things that you mentioned. We've got Evernote and Dropbox. Facebook is definitely in there. We've got Pinterest. That's one of my favorites. And how many of you use Pinterest for education? Absolutely. They got some great stuff on there. And then they also use Blogger or some form of blogging in order to communicate. So, and I have a list. As I said, I'll send you the article about all of this after the workshop is over. And you can take a look at how it was determined and stuff. Then there was an article in the Akron Beacon Journal a couple of weeks ago, I think it was. I'm not sure where. Here it is. And if you live in the Akron area, it was the STAR students of the Akron area, which included a number of counties. And one of the questions that they asked the STAR students in their profiles was, what social media site or sites do you use the most? And they came up with maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe none. There were a couple kids in here who said, I don't use any social media sites. But the big ones were Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Pinterest, and Tumblr. So we kind of took a combination of what was in Jane Hart's Top 100 and what kids are using now so that you know how to use what they're using, kind of interesting. And we came up with the things that are on your agenda as things that we're going to look at and use today and then throughout the summer. Why should you be connected? Well, your kids are, for the most part. Your students' parents are, for the most part. And a big reason is you can take charge of your own professional learning, create your professional learning network, and network with hundreds, thousands, millions, if you want to, of people across the world who have the same interests that you do and can help you learn more. I didn't bring it in. I'll bring it August. What really got me excited about all this was when I was at Joann Fabrics one day, I got this book about get connected with your crafts. And there are just tons and tons of crafts of connection sites, blogs and chat rooms and Instagrams and all that stuff that relate to scrapbooking and quilting and crocheting and all that stuff. And I thought, well, that's kind of a cool thing. So I kind of used that to get started on being connected as an educator. But you can take charge of your own professional learning in a lot of different ways. I want to show you a video. I'm going to get out of here, and I already have it loaded. I want to show you a video about an educator as a social network learner. And it's all written. Using Powtoon.
Using Powtoon.
You're going to teach that? How cool is that? To
I
what?
have a lot to learn before I teach it.
Say that again?
I have a lot to learn before I teach it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
they do.
To whom are you teaching it? Teachers?
I'm actually teaching it to teachers, but I'm a
We hear
librarian,
it
so
all
I'll
the
be teaching it
time.
to
Our
myself.
education system is broken.
Okay, that's cool. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay. Okay, so educator as a social network learner, and I guarantee you we will at least touch on every one of the things that she wrote about in that little video she did. Okay, Jeff, I think we can stop that. Why don't we take about a 2-minute stand-up break? It takes a couple of minutes to shut down the Hangout and start up another one. So that's what we're going to do. If you missed anything,